Search for the Happiness Lab and start listening.
Welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. Thanks for joining us. We're so excited to be back. How are you doing today, Susan?
We're sure excited. We've got great people coming. We've got lots to talk about. And make sure you checked out our past episodes because we've been having a lot of fun. We've answered a lot of good questions and chatting with your Bachelor Nation fans.
Well, let me just say, we have a blast when we don't have guests. But today we're going to have a bigger blast because we have a super guy. I say it firsthand knowing that from Joan's season of The Golden Bachelorette. Welcome, Dan. How are you today?
Hey,
Dan.
you guys. Good to be here. Thank you very much.
It's nice to see you again.
How have you been? How's your new year going? How's your Valentine's Day plans? Give us the scoop here.
Valentine's, is that coming up? I barely
New
got past
Year's,
New Year's.
Valentine's, Christmas,
It's all coming up.
of the above.
It's all coming. Tell us what's been going on.
Oh, it's been an interesting and crazy time. On a personal note, I flew directly from the finale when I saw you two.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everyone else that was there. And my father had been diagnosed with glioblastoma, and he passed away December.
I'm
28th.
so sorry.
So I flew directly to Kansas City. My siblings and I were there. My mother for 2 months, the whole time.
Oh,
And
sorry.
he faced it with courage and a positive attitude, and he was ready, and that made us all at peace. So
Good.
that's what I've been up to.
Oh, gosh, Dan, I'm sorry.
Be a downer,
I have-
but that's
I have
life,
two
right?
friends who died from glioblastoma. It's a
Tough.
it's not exactly what it is. It's a horrible diagnosis.
How
I'm
old
so
was your
sorry.
Very
dad?
fast, and it's very fast.
How old was he?
Which is a blessing, but that's what goes on. And so he handled it courageously, and thanks to family and friends that supported us through all that time. So time for life to move on, though. And Mom's doing well, and that's
Good.
the main thing.
How old was your dad?
89.
Well, you know what? He had a great life then.
And he's the first to say that, too.
Yeah. At
Had a great
89,
life.
I wouldn't mind checking out. Now that's your turn. Yeah.
Can I tell you, he's a stoic man and wise and conservative, but he loved all this Bachelor Nation stuff. It was so much fun for him. So thank you guys for being.
Well, I wish you know what? I believe, Dan, he's listening to us today. So,
Sure he is.
he's laughing. Did he play golf?
He did, yeah. Not
He's
a lot,
up there.
but
He's up there playing the back nine, saying,
Right.
"Guys, I got to take a break. I got to go listen to this." So,
Exactly. He's tuned in.
Well, God rest his soul. And we're glad that you were there with him and your family. We really
okay,
are.
so
Yeah,
I got to pivot here
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
Dan,
please. Yeah, please.
Susan, I believe, has a question for you.
What a surprise.
Okay. So first and foremost, there's like these questions of the day, and we're going to talk about things. Then
Oh
we're
no,
gonna
that's not.
I know. And then we're going to get the audience to know you better with lots of questions.
We have plans,
But
Dan. We have
I
plans.
do
I know you do.
have
I'm
one
sure.
big, giant question.
And when she
we
says
met you,
she means we.
when we met you, it seemed as though you and Edith were getting to know each other.
Sure.
I want to know, curious minds want to know, did it go any further? Are you guys seeing each other? Are you a thing or just friends?
Well, Edith is awesome. First
She
of
is
all, what's
awesome.
not to love about Edith? She's
Yes.
so great, and
Yes.
we were.
I want her hair. I want her
Right?
hair.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I want her
Fantastic.
butt. Her body is beautiful.
Okay. Let's be nice to Edith here. Go ahead. What's the
I have a
story?
few questions for you now.
Wait, you
Hold
didn't
on,
answer
you
mine.
didn't answer. Are you
We
still
need an
seeing her?
answer here,
Yeah.
Dan. You
Well,
can't
I
get
just
out of
told you
this
what
one.
I've been up to the last 2 months, and I
Well,
happen to be
yeah.
back in Naples, which is home for me for a week, and I'm going back to Kansas City where my mother is on Saturday. So I really haven't had an opportunity to date, period. And then, we live on opposite coasts. So if I was in LA,
But
we'd
you
probably-
told me, Dan, you told me
Yeah.
the 5 seconds that I got to talk to you at Joan and Chalk's engagement party when you weren't otherwise engaged, you told me that you were thinking about moving to LA to be closer to your sons. Is that happening?
Well, everything has gotten pushed this year, Kathy.
Yeah.
So that was I planned to actually move to Orange County.
Okay.
by now. My daughter and son-in-law live in Anaheim Hills, and so
nice.
That's been my plan and is my plan. But I'm not on a timeline, so maybe at some point this year I can get that handled. But I've got real estate here. I've got things to take care of.
Are you in Naples? You're in Naples,
Florida. Yeah.
So, Kathy, maybe we should go check out his real estate because we want to go to Naples.
I've never been to Naples.
I've been over Florida, never Naples.
Yeah. Is it nice? Is it nice?
It's beautiful. It really is a nice beach community. Incredible restaurants, great beaches, golf courses.
Golf.
Are you a golfer, Dan?
I'm retired from golf, is what I like to say. I've played a lot of golf.
How do you retire from golf?
I know, right? I've found other interests. I still like it. I enjoy it.
Well, wait a minute. What's your biggest interest? What do you do? Tell me. What's your?
I've been enjoying. I live at the beach. It's 500 feet from my front door.
Kathy, we have to look at this real estate.
Yeah, and so I'm into nature and fishing, boating, and.
Dan, can I give you one little bit of piece of advice here?
If you go on a dating site, do
not take a picture of yourself holding up a dead fish.
No,
it is the biggest.
Or in a mirror in the bathroom.
Yeah, don't stand in the mirror with the bathroom, and for God's sakes, keep your shirt on when you're taking pictures.
These are okay. This is basic common sense, but what else?
Well, you would think.
One would think, but most of them don't get it.
All right.
Dating sites. I don't know about that. Have you guys tried them?
Oh, so many times.
I wish. Did you just see how my eyes just bugged out of my head? We've all tried dating sites.
Yes.
Sure we have.
And you know what? I marry people, as you know, and I cannot tell you how many people that I marry that have met on dating sites.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, most of them younger, of course. But
have you had success, Dan? I mean, in the past on dating sites?
I've been on and off some of the dating apps.
Yeah.
And I've met some terrific women, and I consider those that I've dated still friends. And at this age, we part reasonably. What are we going to get
it's easier,
worked up about, right?
Exactly.
So, whatever reason they didn't work out, but some very, very quality women.
So I have a quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
When a man puts not looking for a long-term relationship.
Oh my God, Susan, that's exactly what I was just going to ask him.
Did you put down long-term relationship?
What are you looking for on the profile? That's exactly what I was going to ask you, Dan. Do you put down friendship, something casual, long-term relationship, marriage? What do you put down?
I leave that very unspecific intentionally.
You leave it blank?
I don't comment. Because I think that depends on the situation, the person, and it takes two to tango.
Right. And there's no checkbox saying start out slow and see where it goes. That's
correct. Yeah.
How long have you been single, Dan?
Oh my gosh, I was divorced in 2010, so coming up on 15 years.
Yeah, you sound like me.
Been married, and I've been in a couple of long-term relationships and some time in between. Where I didn't date at all. So I'm in one of those phases right now.
Well, you've had a lot on your plate, Dan. Be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself here.
Be good to you.
All right, Susan, you want to start with the question of the day?
Okay, here we go. What are some signs that help you see if the person you're dating is into you or not?
How do you know, Dan, if a woman's into you or not?
So it's y'all are confusing anyway, so I don't know.
No, we're not. I think I'm so upfront.
Go ahead.
You think women are confusing?
A little bit, yeah. It's the Venus and Mars thing, maybe a little bit. But to answer your question, I think if they laugh at my jokes sincerely,
that's a plus.
I throw some bad ones out there.
Well, see, if you were with me and you threw a bad one, I'd be like, really, babe? Nah. No, don't ever say that one again.
If they're honest, then that's a good sign.
But are there any telltale signs that you feel more confident that she's into me? Or
I think if people are asking questions genuinely, you can sense if it's genuine or if it's programmed, or if they want to talk mostly about themselves. Maybe that they're trying to get their story out. That's not really fair. But if they're asking questions about me and my interests, my family, my life, then.
Susan, do you remember we talked about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Susan dated a guy for 10 minutes who all he did was talk about himself. And I was the one that said, offload him. If a guy isn't asking you questions about yourself, if you're not asking him questions,
I gave him
it has to be reciprocal.
The benefit of the doubt the first phone call, like maybe he's nervous or whatever, but by the third phone call I knew his life story, what he drove, he was supposed to be on Joan's season.
Susan couldn't even do our podcast because she was very busy writing his biography. She had no time.
Kathy, how would you answer that question?
Yeah, completely
okay.
Right. All right. So, yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I think you've got a great handle on it. And like you said, you just haven't had time right now to get in. But you will. You will.
I'll be back.
To make planning the perfect beach vacation easier.
Today, don't worry.
Okay. So the next thing that we do, we just want to talk about your life a little bit more than we have. Mm-hmm. So I want to know prior to the show and really how has your life changed? That's what I wanted. Well, and I know you've had a tough time because of your dad.
Yeah.
But how are you different now than you were when you went on the show?
Or you think differently, maybe.
Yeah, a little different perspective, Susan. Yeah, and Kathy, to answer your question, I don't know that it's changed me fundamentally or anything. Like anything else, it's an amazing experience, and I learned so much from it. And I have all these new friends, and that's definitely a change. The one thing that we've talked about, the guys as post show, and that is, and me personally is, I have a lot of good guy friends that go back to elementary school, high school, college, that kind of thing, all over the country, because I've lived in a few different places here in Naples, Kansas City, California, Iowa, where I grew up, in Des Moines. And so, but they're all married. Yeah. And they're great, and I love their wives. We're friends too. But to be around single guys of my age, it was unique to me, and it opened my eyes. I need somebody I can relate to. In that respect.
It's amazing that you can make a friendship at this stage of our life and that good of one.
Yeah,
but I will tell you,
particular, right?
Yes. And we all come with baggage. We we all have children, grandkids. We've all had divorces, deaths. We've all had, but I just want to commend you because I have a way. I really don't know you that well, but we chatted a little bit, But I will, to me, you don't even know this. And I've told Susan this, one of the ways I judge a man is I judge all people this way. If they have friends from every avenue of their life, what you just said, you're a good person because it's never, ever served me wrong. People who only have current friends, there's an issue. I don't know why. It's never proved me wrong. So you must be a great guy because you just said you have friends from everywhere. So
either that or I have very understanding friends.
Take the compliment, Dan. Take the compliment.
Okay, here's a
Thank you.
one.
I will. That is a nice compliment. Thank you.
Dan, if there is a golden paradise, the question is, would you go? And if you were to go, who would you want to see on that beach?
Well, you two for sure.
Yes.
The guy ran for governor last year. You have to say that, Dan. What else? Who else?
No, seriously, would you go?
I don't understand Bachelor in Paradise and what would go on with us golden people.
Yeah, it would have to be different.
I'm open to anything. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's how we feel, right?
I mean, do you like outdoor sports?
Yes.
Are you gonna have a drink? Are you gonna play pickleball? Are you gonna play? Right. Oh, you're not gonna play golf. Are you gonna swim?
I'd play golf. I'd swim. I'd try everything. I'm an outdoorsman, and I.
Can you date 10 women at once?
I can barely handle one. Come on.
Are you the jealous type?
You know what? I think it's good to have a touch of jealousy.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Not too much.
Just the
touch.
No,
Susan, we just answered that. You said no. You didn't.
No,
like
I
jealousy.
said a touch, a little bit. And then I said,
Dan?
what exactly
do
you mean?
That means you care about
them.
Thank you. No.
Yes,
a touch. I'm not saying you can't be obsessive and possessive.
I agree.
See, to me, if I'm dating,
care at all, that's
if I'm dating, no. I was married to my husband for almost 46 years. I was never jealous. You know why? I trusted him implicitly, and I felt like we were lucky to have each other. I didn't spend 1 ounce of time worrying that he was with someone else or wanted someone else. I did. Maybe I was stupid. I mean,
that's more of a trust thing, but a jealousy thing. If somebody's paying a lot of attention to somebody and you
then I'm going to kill him.
Well, my
Sorry.
point.
Sorry, you didn't make that clear. He's mine. He's mine, Susan. Head over there. Get out of here.
Let's move it right along. So,
all right, let's go. So we always ask if you were on a deserted island, and we've asked every guy from your season. It's been interesting. I want the answer, but I also want to know why. Aside from Susan and me, who of course will accompany you to a deserted island because Susan loves to cook and I'll make you laugh.
Good.
And as long as you go fishing, because there's not going to be a store to buy food. Okay.
And I don't really care that much about food, so we're
Kathy
all good to
will
go.
just set the table.
All right.
We've got that covered.
All right. What 3 guys from Joan's season would you bring with you?
Only
and
pick
why?
3.
I want to know why.
Right. Give me
Only
1
3.
second.
Remember, it's a political answer.
Sure it is. And if you're going to keep it to 3, and then maybe the reasons will become clear. So, my boy Keith, my boy Greg, and then I might need to bring Pascal just because he'll entertain us.
Pascal is a popular choice. Tell me why.
I'll tell you what, he is a good-hearted man. I mean, I consider him a good friend. I consider everybody from the show a good friend. Pascal certainly would he's a great conversationalist. We're going to need that on the desert island. He's entertaining. He's got his own perspective in the world. And I get Pascal. I get him. So that's cool. Greg is one of the smartest guys that I've met, and he has.
Is Greg the guy that had the beard that was a VP or lives in Florida somewhere?
Yeah, he lives in Longboat Key.
Okay, yes,
and Salt Lake City, but Florida is basically his home. So, and he was a roommate. So was Pascal. So I know those guys probably. As well as anybody too.
Yeah.
And so, but Greg he's super intelligent. He's highly educated, and he and I share a similar perspective on the world, I would say. We laugh at the same things. We find some things about life completely ridiculous.
I used to think Kathy and him would make a good match.
Yeah.
From the very beginning of the show. I did. I used to think you guys would match
Susan,
well.
What do you think, Kathy?
Do I think I'd make a good... I don't even know him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing about me. I am very... I actually was talking to Guy, just friends. He and I are just friends, truly.
Right.
Older sister, whatever. But he said to me, I see you with someone really loud. And he did. I forgot to tell you that, Susan. He said, I see you with somebody who's just out there and full of energy. And I said, you're wrong.
No.
That's not. I'm a lot. I'm full of energy. I actually prefer men who are quiet and
calming.
And intelligent,
that's exactly and intelligent, but calming because that calms me.
Right.
Like it would be hysteria if I dated a guy that was like a Jack.
Right.
I couldn't do it.
I love.
He's
Jack.
a great guy.
God
No.
I
love him.
I talked to him
I love him.
Actually,
he's in Florida now. He
is. He's
texted me and said he was
Island
just
today.
getting to Florida. Yeah.
So do you get together with all the guys? Notice how by the way, I circumvented that question because I'm supposed to ask you, Dan, who you see Susan and me with. Who would you fix us up with?
Wow. Okay. Well, now that I have insight to you, Kathy, I need some more insight on what Susan's looking for. So tell me about that.
Just somebody to adore me like I adore them. That's
there it is.
I don't
Such
ask for much.
Yeah.
Women are simple, Dan. They are.
Okay.
We
all just want
complex.
someone who loves us, who we can love.
Men think we're more complex than we really are.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's true.
All right. Well, I'm listening. You're sage with your wisdom. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
So,
we're moving
and
along.
Keith,
He's not
because
matching
he's
us.
so fun and full of laughs, he's an energetic kind of guy when you chose him.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
Keith to go on the deserted island.
Keith, yeah. And Keith is he's happy about everything. Have you watched him? He's like all in with everything.
He reminds me of me. He does.
Okay.
Everything's good. Yeah.
And so
wait, Susan, is that your? Oh wait, maybe that's it, Dan. Maybe you should pair her up with Keith.
So would it be good to be somebody just like you? Two of the same? Isn't it said that opposites attract? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think opposites.
I think I need an introvert because I'm not one.
My husband was a quiet guy.
You're looking. I don't know if our cast is the right group. Then I don't know if there's many introverts there.
I know. No, I don't.
Well,
I wouldn't know what to do.
They're not anymore.
Yeah, but isn't that great that that you made such good friends? And do you see the other guys from the show?
I've seen a few, yes, and we talk text, I should say, and sometimes talk. But yeah, there's been a couple occasions that I've seen some of the guys, and not everybody. But we're trying to, as we move around the country for different things, include visits to each other, and some with intent. Like when I was in Kansas City, we had pre-planned
with Chalk and everybody.
Chalk and I and Keith and Jordan had put together. And we were hoping, David was close. He had another obligation, or excuse me, Gary was close.
I was going to say, it was David.
He had a golf obligation.
Wait, I know who David is. He's the guy with the unbuttoned shirt, the gold necklace, who owns a ranch in the city of Austin, which doesn't exist.
That wasn't David.
Yeah.
That was his name?
David was the guy from, I'm telling you,
I know who you're talking to. I didn't know his name.
I said the wrong name, but yeah, I know David. He was only there briefly, but guy, really good guy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so introverts for both of you, it sounds like.
Well, when I say introvert, quieter guy, I can't. I mean, somebody who is on all the time, because I tend to be on a lot of the time. I can't deal with someone. I mean, Jack's a great guy. We've talked. Susan's good friends with him, but I mean that's just too, and it'd be too much for you too, Susan.
I know, but no. I love the fact that you got to experience this as we did.
Yeah.
It didn't change my life because I've always been friendly and make lots of friends. I never meet a stranger. But making these serious friendships like Kathy and I will go to death being best friends.
I love that. Yeah.
And
we will unless we fight over the same guy and then you're dead to me.
I wouldn't allow it.
You're not as simple as you say you are.
I'm very simple. All right,
Dan, we're so happy for you that you got to experience this. We're very sorry for what you had to deal with, and that's just part of life. But now I'm excited for you to move on for you.
You are, and you know what, Dan? It will. You will. It's time, and it's going to happen. But so we do this thing where we read letters from fans and we give advice, and because you are the lucky guy today, we want you to help us weigh in. So I'm going to read a question and then you're going to help give us advice, okay?
Are you good with that?
Great.
All right.
Please.
Anonymous. And some of the questions are anonymous and we don't care if they have a name.
Sure.
Okay. Anonymous asks, "Hi, ladies. I could really use your help. My husband had a heart attack about 8 months ago and has been stuck in a funk ever since. His health has been improving remarkably, and the doctor gave him the green light to start doing some light activities he used to dabble in. However, he hasn't wanted to really do anything. He takes care of himself and makes sure to do light exercise, but anything that's not doctor mandated, he doesn't do. He's normally such a fun and social guy, but he's been pretty reclusive. I feel like he hasn't been able to relax, still given all that he's been through. How can I help him get out of this and start feeling like himself again? We love you both and thank you in advance." What says you, Dan?
Well, first of all, she's an incredible person to be come out and seek help, and to know that she just wants to be there for her husband. That's amazing. That's great. And her heart's certainly in the right place.
That goes with the territory, Dan.
Sure. Yeah. And it should. But it doesn't always, right? So
yeah, you're right.
Kudos to her and for that. And she's trying to figure out how to bring him along. I don't know. He just had this life-changing experience and he survived it. Maybe he's a little in touch with his mortality, so he's more cautious. Listen to him, be there for him, and don't give up on proposing some light activities that would be out of doctor's
I think he's scared. I think men are a little
probably
scared, and when something like that happens, that's huge. He doesn't want to die. You got to give him time, and like you said, be there for him, encourage him. But I don't think there's a whole lot more you can do.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's got to come on his own.
Well, and I think, Dan, you had a great idea, saying, hey, let's go for a walk, or sort of slowly easing into it. But
if you were married to me, I'd be like, all right, babe, the worst is over. You got to get up.
You see, that's your hard, Susan. You're hard. You have to be kind. But I would say that he probably is scared.
Yeah,
he probably is scared, and you have to respect that because, you know, that's truly a life-changing event.
It certainly is. It certainly
right.
is.
And I can tell you from the male's perspective, at least of our generation, for sure. And I don't think this goes away in any generation. Actually, we want to be the provider and the perfecter of our partners, our loved ones, our wives, and now he's questioning his abilities to do that because he's in a weakened state, and that's
understandable.
Dan, you're so wise. Listen to him.
You're a good catch, Dan.
Yeah.
Watch out, Edith.
Yeah. Susan and Kathy are coming after Dan. Now, Dan, let me tell you what's going to happen. That's going to be a sound bite. Social media is going to pick up
they're
on
gonna run
Kathy
with that
and
one,
Susan
Dan.
both want Dan.
Good.
So buckle up, Dan. Get ready.
Okay, let's go. Social media is awesome, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Are you on social media?
I haven't posted in a couple months. I was trying to be active, and I've got my daughters and my nieces help me mostly.
How many kids do you have, Dan?
I have 2 daughters. Thanks. Yeah.
And how old are they?
42 and 26.
Do they have kids? Married?
Both married, yes, and one in Tampa, one in Orange County, and one has. I have a granddaughter in Tampa, and my youngest daughter and her husband were waiting. They'll be grandkids there soon.
Nice.
So,
How old is your granddaughter?
she's a senior in high school, 17.
Oh, wow.
Miss Ava.
Oh, you need a new baby now. Yeah, somebody to spoil. So that's
to be clear, not his own, his grandchild.
Yes, amen.
No,
to
I'm all
that.
good there.
Now it's time for Bachelor Nation and all our listeners to get to know Dan a little better. So we have a little fun game, and we'd like to do this before we have to wrap up today. These are fun, easy questions, okay? So
don't believe her, Dan. Don't believe her.
Right.
What is one piece of advice you wish you could give your younger self?
Listen more.
Good.
I love that.
More.
I would say that to myself too.
Yeah,
wow.
me
That's
too.
a good one. Okay, wow.
Except
Okay.
one time, one guy, and this was kind of towards the end, I lost a lot of respect, but I was trying to listen, and he turned around and said to me, "Now's your chance to listen." I said, "Excuse me?
Wow.
How dare?" That was it.
It's okay. He's in a rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I get that.
I love that piece of advice,
Interesting.
Dan, actually.
Okay, good.
All right, go ahead.
What's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
I don't drink anymore, so there's no happy hour, but I'm in this place where the beaches are fantastic. The sunsets are incredible, and it's always...
Rub it in, Dan. Rub it
Yeah,
in.
we're coming,
I'm
Dan.
just telling you
Or
my reality
it's
here.
sounding
and,
really good.
Wait, Susan, how fast can you get on
He's
a plane?
sounding
We could
really
be there.
good to me, Kathy.
We can be there in no time. Oh, my
He's
God.
leaving there. He's going to California.
That's why I said we got to hop a plane fast before he's gone.
And
So what, a walk on the beach?
take a
What?
walk and
so
watch
I
the
do.
sunset.
I do walk on my beach a lot, and it's it's good exercise. It's great to be out in the sunshine. It's a little bit spiritual. There's lots of nature. It's a great way to unwind.
Do you live on the beach?
Yeah, he said it was 50
across the
feet
street.
from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I do. Yeah.
What is your
Lucky.
favorite memory that you have when you were a teenager? Does something just stand out, one thing?
Wow. I've had so many recent thoughts about things that my dad and I have done, and we spent a lot of time outdoors together. And one of his passions was fishing. And I'm thinking of he and I used to do these flying fishing trips into
Fly
Canada.
fishing, yeah,
And,
yeah.
Where in Canada?
Northern Ontario.
Where?
Well, we'd fly out of Red Lake,
Yeah.
and then up into like Goose Lake, and up.
Yeah. My sister lives in Ontario.
Oh, you're kidding me? Where?
Well, she lived in Toronto. Now she lives in Ottawa. But
Okay.
I've been pretty much all through Ottawa. I know where you're talking.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
through Ontario.
Very
Yeah,
remote.
it's beautiful up there.
Those were a couple
good
of
memory.
great trips
Nice.
with my dad. I'm thinking about and fishing with him, and you do more. Fishing's not all about catching fish. It's more
Isn't
about
it funny? I was
It's
just
about
going to say to
spending
you,
time
isn't
you're
it
with
funny
or
when
about,
when we lose someone special, we spend, at least I do, I shouldn't put words in your mouth, but I spend a lot of time, when my husband died, I spent a lot of time, and I still do, reliving those memories, because that's how you preserve them in your heart. You know, that's so I'm glad you get to do that.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Yes, it's important.
Yeah. Okay. What would the title of your autobiography be?
I like that question. I don't know. Like, give me a second.
No.
Keep it clean, Dan.
He tried the best he could.
That's a good one. I like that title. He tried the best he could. I like it.
I like it. All right. If you could bring back any fashion trend or old slang, what would it be?
Old slang, yeah. Gosh, there's so many great ones from our genre.
My kids holler at me. I'm sorry.
Fashion trends, you know, they're already making a comeback, but gotta love those
bell bottoms are back in. Yeah, man.
But they're doing it without any of our input.
How about the slang banging? My kid, I still say it. Oh my gosh,
have you heard that?
And my kids are like,
absolutely.
Mom, that's
I
so
grew up in
out.
Boston. I never,
Really?
I've never heard that until she told me.
Where did you grow up, Susan?
Outside of Philadelphia.
Okay. Well, yeah, I grew up in Iowa and we said banging there.
Everybody said banging.
Come on, Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy, get with it.
I tried. I do the best I can, Dan.
Right.
Sorry.
See?
Is there anything you've always wanted to do but haven't done it
That
yet?
was my question for him.
Okay, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun.
Oh no, it's these are great ones. So man, I have done so much. I've been fortunate to do so many things and travel extensively and all that. It would probably be, and I've had no lack of adventure either. I mean, I've
done it all. I like
crazy, exciting things. And so I don't know. I think it would be going somewhere. I want to live there for a little while, like Portugal or Spain. And I've been to Europe.
I think we're a good match.
Do you speak another language, Dan?
I speak a little bit of Spanish just from being around it, and I speak a little bit of German.
Mucho dinero.
See,
my daughter speaks fluent Spanish. I'm not kidding. My daughter speaks fluent Spanish. My son speaks fluent German.
Oh, no kidding.
And I speak enough Spanish to get by.
Yeah, good for you.
Kathy, you speak
I wanted
well.
my kids to, it was a goal of mine. I wanted my kids to be bilingual. And two of my kids are, I mean, truly bilingual. And then my third child, who I adore, the mother of my oldest granddaughter, he's really good most of the time with English.
It's hard enough, isn't it?
Oh, you know. So wait, I have a question. If you found the person that you want to be with, what would your life look like? What would you want to do with that person that you're not doing now?
Okay, based on what you've just instructed me, I should listen and love them completely.
I mean, you know what else?
I am?
You need my number.
Say, a malleable guy who listens and takes direction well. Check for you, Dan. Check.
You're a great
See,
guy.
I do listen.
Absolutely. Would you travel though? Like, do you like to cook? Would you cook together? What I'm getting at is we can all do those things by ourselves, but what things would you like to do with someone else?
Sure. And at this stage of life, you know, everybody says travel, and I've been fortunate to travel a lot with my business and personally and all that. But the world's a big place. I haven't been to a lot of places. So travel is always fun. It's a great way to get to know your partner.
Yeah, I agree.
It just is, because you're going to have challenges, you're going to have highs and lows. And
yeah, you're right.
So,
you're gonna be lugging around those heavy suitcases for the woman who can't pack a duffel.
Yes.
And go for 3 weeks. Where's your first place? Wait, one more question. Where do you want to go? Since you've traveled a lot, where's the first place you want to go?
I haven't been to Portugal. I've been to Spain, but I wanted those parts of Spain.
It's on my list. I want to go to Portugal.
I've been to Spain twice, but only a little bit. And my next trip, I wanted to do south of Spain and end up in Portugal.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Well, we're all on the same page. So
I know.
Let's go.
Let's plan a trip.
Let's just go.
The three of us, menage a trois.
Susan, That is another soundbite that's not going to play well. Will you think about
Poor
what?
Dan.
Dan, I'm really sorry.
I can take it. Come on.
They're going to have you
Okay.
married to
What
both
is the
of us.
worst piece of advice you've ever been given? That's the last question, I promise.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, I've got another one for him.
I don't know. Well, it would have to be with an investment of some kind. I didn't.
Okay.
Well on, but I
Okay.
won't go
Fair
into it.
enough. Fair enough. Okay, Kathy.
I'm lost now. Okay. What, I'm just going to tell you straight up. We've had a couple of episodes and we've talked about New Year's goals and resolutions. I'm not a big January 1. I mean, we're well into this, February now, but I'm not a big goal person in that one moment, January 1, 2025. Because I try to make myself a better person every day of the year. Having said that, what are your goals for 2025? Not like a resolution, just how do you see your 2025?
What do you want to accomplish? Yeah.
How do you see it shaping up?
That's a great question. I'm a lot like you. Is that I
lose, Susan.
I try to live in the moment, and it's hard to do. I mean, you have to make plans, and obviously, if you live life, those plans are going to get thrown out the window. Case in point, my last couple of months, and my next couple of months too. I'm going to be going back to Kansas City a little bit here and there, and so those kind of things. But overall, self-improvement is a goal. I want to relocate, and that was my goal for 24, just because it didn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
still on my plate.
Yeah.
And looking ahead towards that, and just try to become a better person, more evolved and healthier. And I feel like I need to be a little more settled till I find my person too, because right now, if I were to meet someone in Florida or California or in between, it's, hey, where are you going to be? And so I know where I want to be, and it's family related to my daughter.
Oh, so wait, so
but
you
still
found the right
have one
person?
in Florida.
What's that?
You still have a daughter in Florida.
Yes, I do.
So you're leaving one to be with another. But
yes, and I've been fortunate to be fortunate to her and my granddaughter.
What about half and half?
Well, that'd be nice. Yeah, that would be nice.
I would leave the summers in Florida and go go to California.
So wait, you don't want Dan
here? Yes,
Dan,
for sure.
you don't want to relocate. You would not relocate if you found the right person, like Chalk. They're probably going to end up on the East Coast somewhere. Yeah. You're not a guy that's willing to relocate. You're going to move to California. You're going to find a girl in California.
Let's put it this way. I need to be settled so I can have that flexibility, I guess. I want to be I want to be a part of their family as it begins. I mean, there's the two of them, and as they're going to have grandkids. And
you're talking about your child in California. Yeah.
Yes. So I want to be there for those things. It doesn't mean I can't spend half the year somewhere else or more, and travel and do all those things. Just where that's going to be home base. Because I do want to be integrated with them. It's too far. It's too far.
And who's to say the person you meet wouldn't want to join you in both places? I mean, that's
right.
That's
too, right?
Definitely doable.
Right.
Well,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Keeping an open mind through all this at our age, because everybody has the same circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just do.
I have to say, we've interviewed a lot of the guys from Jones season, and each one of you, we didn't know you. People think that everybody knows everybody on Bachelor Nation, but you are as interesting and as kind and fun as we had heard you were, and we're just so happy that you could join us.
Isn't it better knowing them from this? I got to know each and every one of them better than I did from watching. You can only see so much.
Well, this is the real Dan.
Yes.
This is the real Dan. So
and we like the real Dan.
It truly is a pleasure getting to chat with you. Again, so sorry about your dad.
Thank you.
Life, Hope 2025 brings you, well, of course we'll see you again soon, but just, I'm really hoping that these next few months go a little easier for you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome to have me. I get to know you better too. I mean, this is great. It truly is. Thank you for having me.
We really will come to Naples and check out the property before you sell it. You never know.
So
I'll show you around. You'll have the time of your life.
I've never been to Naples.
Before Dan packs up and before Susan is on a one-way ticket to Florida, that's going to do it for this episode of Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. Again, thank you to our lovely guest, Dan, for joining us and dishing out some great advice and sharing your life with us.
We do. Thank you so much. And we really do adore you. We love getting to chat with you.
You're the best.
Thank you. And thank you all so much for joining us and getting to know Dan right with us. Make sure to follow Bachelor Happy Hour as we have brand new episodes coming out every week that you won't want to miss.
And just like today when we answered questions, we love your questions. Please keep them coming to us. You can go to bachelornation.com/golden hour or DM us on Instagram at Bachelor Happy Hour.
And listen to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you.
Have a great week, everybody. Take care.